So as you can tell, this is going to be another wood stacking episode. I think this is number 4, should be the final one, I hope. So hello again, everybody. Name's Jay Ball, Blue Jays Outdoors. We are in the process of stacking all the wood to make Blue Jays maple syrup come this spring. And I really appreciate you guys following along with me. Like I said, this is hopefully the last episode. A little bit colder today, a little bit windier, so we're gonna do some more time lapse. As you can see, we've made some decent progress on the wood pile. Hopefully you guys can see that behind me. But to break up today's video a little bit more, so you're not just watching me stack the wood, we're going to talk about safety, we're going to talk about gloves, or we're going to talk about the different types of wood that are actually in all this pallet wood. So let me first show you the gloves, and then I'll start doing some time lapse of me stacking, and then we'll take a break and I'll talk about the different types of wood and why they're important and why I like to burn what I burn. So let's check out this segment on glove choices. If anyone's in the glove industry and would like to have a product tester, I would love to be a product tester for gloves because I wear through some gloves throughout the season. So this is the first pair that I've been wearing and that I've worn through in less than probably a day and a half worth of stacking. You can see the fingertips are blown out. These are really good welding gloves. They're multi-purpose, really thick leather, but again, I just wore through them. These are just some common everyday work gloves you can get from your local hardware store. So I'm going to start using these today. You can see I'm already starting to wear through the fingertip just a little bit. Going to give these a try and see how long these last. And then I've got some, just another pair of leather work gloves. And it's important to wear the leather work gloves because you do come across an occasional nail. You can see this piece of pallet wood here has got some pretty good nails sticking out of it. So you're going to get stuck. You're going to get scratches. I've already got my first injuries of the season. I'm starting to rip the bed of the nail away from the finger. That's why I've got these 2 fingers bandaged up because I wore through the gloves, as you can see. But hey, that's what happens, when you're dealing with this much wood and all these nails. So here's the glove segment. Let's get to stacking, and then I'll stop real quick, do a safety segment, and then we'll talk about the different types of wood that are in all these pallets. I don't know if I'm getting better at stacking or not, but I've put a really good dent in this wood pile, and it's just crazy to see how much wood you can actually stack in a small area if you take the time. Now, definitely I've changed the way that I stack wood this year. You can see that these edges are pretty flush. Last year they were there was a lot of steps, a lot of jagged edges because the way I was stacking it, but I made sure that, once I got to about this level here, I should have realized this sooner, but I started to square it off so that this was much smoother. And yeah, so it's going pretty well. I'm gonna take a break, grab a bite to eat, come back out, and we're gonna talk safety. And then I'm gonna keep on stacking, and then I'm gonna stop and we're gonna talk about the different kinds of wood. And yeah, I'll explain to you again why I do what I do when it comes to burning wood. But let me go get some food and I'll be right back out. Okay, we are back from our late breakfast / lunch break. And what I wanted to do right now is talk about safety. Handling this wood can be, I don't know if you want to say dangerous, but you can cut yourself and get some pretty big splinters. There's nails you've got to worry about. So let's talk real quick about safety. I'll get back into stacking some wood. I'll kind of show you guys what I'm doing as I'm getting close to the end here, being a little bit more particular about the wood that I'm stacking. So let's take a look at safety. So you know, safety first. Obviously gloves are very important. Why that is because, like, if you look at this piece right here, those are some pretty nasty nails. I mean, the team at Pallets and More does the best job they can getting these nails cut off, but there's just sometimes when they just don't get them. So it is what it is. So you always got to be mindful of that. So again, I always wear a pair of gloves, at least leather gloves. You can see I wore through this pair pretty quickly. Started using this pair today, and I've got another backup pair, but I usually go through about a dozen or so pairs of gloves throughout the season. Something that's also very important as well, long sleeve, you know, preferably cotton. You guys can actually see here on my pants where I burnt the pants on the evaporator last year because it got so hot, but that's like a synthetic material. So always wear long sleeve cotton type clothing, and also steel toe boots. So why steel toe boots? Well, because you're kind of kicking and beating and banging around, and you know, these wood piles, again, you've got nails sticking out. So I always try to wear steel toe shoes or some sort of boot. Like, look at this right here. Look at this piece. So those nails sticking out, yeah, that could really end your day in a hurry. So there is the safety portion of stacking the wood. So now that the safety has been covered, what I'm doing is I'm getting a little bit more particular about what wood I'm deciding to stack on the pile. So you can see I've got these thinner slats. These are the slats that go across the top. I've got these separated into a pile. I've got the 2x4 starting to get separated in a pile. And then I've got these funky support pieces with this L shape in them. And those are hard to stack. You get a gap in between them. So what I'm actually going to do is not stack any more of those. I'm going to stack those in the pile behind the house, but I'm just going to really start to get picky about the wood that I stack because I am getting close to being to the top. But like I mentioned, I'm going to try to arch this thing so it is a little bit taller, because I don't want to have to go to the back of the property to get the wood during the season, but if I have to, I have to. So let's get to stacking. Some of you might be asking yourselves, you know, what's this benefit of burning hard and soft wood? And there's been a lot of research done, not just by myself, but from a lot of professionals in the maple syrup industry. And they have found that if you burn a combination of softwood and hardwood, you actually get a hotter fire. So I'll explain more about, you know, how I do my firing cycle as the season progresses, but I wanted to kind of just give you guys an idea of what kind of wood I'm getting with these pallets. So you've got like this cedar here. I think this is red cedar, at least it smells like it. You've got some, you know, pine, maybe poplar here. So this is your softwood. It's very light, you know, not very dense. But then you've got wood such as Osage, which, if anybody makes self bows, you know that seeing a pallet made out of Osage is heartbreaking. It is for myself, but this is called Osage Orange. You can see how tight those growth rings are. This stuff is really dense and it burns super hot, just like oak. So here's a piece of oak. Again, you can see those growth rings. This stuff burns really hot. So what I'll do is actually I'll split these one time and break these up into smaller pieces, and I'll throw these in the fire in a combination of hard and softwood, so I get a really hot burn. So those are just some of the kinds of wood that you can find in these pallets. Again, it's heartbreaking to see this Osage turned into pallets because it's worth a lot of money, but you know, it is what it is, and it burns hot. So again, here's the growth ring comparison. See how big those growth rings are? This means it's not a very dense wood compared to, say, this Osage that has a very tight growth ring. So just again to give you guys an idea of what kind of wood I'm getting. Like these right here, I have no idea what these are. These are long spindles, but man, these things are heavy. I don't know if they're oak or if they're apple, but man, they are hard and heavy. All right, now we're losing so much daylight, I'm gonna have to call it quits as far as recording goes, but you can see we are there, almost there. What I'm doing, as you can see, is I'm putting a slope in it, and I need to do some leveling off. It's not perfectly level, but the whole plan to that is so that the snow and the rain can sheet off. But yeah, let me show you how much is left. Not much. Pretty impressed with the stacking. Like I said, those are all those spindles, and I'm probably going to start splitting those tomorrow, but that's it. I mean, there's really nothing much left to go, so we'll keep dwindling down that until it gets dark out, and I'll start splitting that stuff tomorrow, and hopefully I don't have to move that much wood to the back. So I'm not saying I'm the best stacker in the world, but I'm definitely getting more efficient at it. So this will be the official wrap up to the video now. Again, my name's Jay Ball, Blue Jays Outdoors. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know anytime I post a new video about fishing and or maple syrup. But moving forward, it's going to be maple syrup until about April sometime. So probably to the end of April. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll put a video here of me catching fish so you guys got something entertaining to watch. But again, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you guys enough for the support. And remember, the easiest way to change your attitude is by showing gratitude. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.